Well, CP Railway and the Teamsters Canada Rail Conference, they have reached a 2-year agreement that's following some binding arbitration. Host of Real Ag Radio, Sean Haney, joins us once again with the latest insight. Sean, as always, thanks for your time here today. Now, what would you say are the biggest details of this deal?
Hey, Janet, great to be with you here today. So, yeah, this is a really good news story. CP and the TCRC, which represents about 3,000 locomotive engineers, conductors, and train and yard workers across the country, agreed to binding arbitration going back to last March. They continue to work through the arbitration process. As you mentioned, it's a 2-year deal. It includes a 3.5% wage increase in 2022 and 23. Somewhat small considering where wage inflation and just inflation in general are. There will be some concern out there in the fact that it is only a 2-year deal, in the sense that obviously very quickly they will have to go back to the bargaining table. 2 years goes very, very quickly, but it's good to see that they were able to come to an agreement through this arbitration process. Now,
what is the latest on the CN rail labor impasse with the TCRC?
Yeah, so the TCRC is also representing about 3,000 CN workers. They are currently without an agreement as well. The railway's 3-year deal with the union expired back in July. And as of last week, when we had a representative of CN Rail on Real Ag Radio, the two sides have not yet started the collective bargaining process. So everybody will be watching that one very, very closely. Hopefully they can come to an agreement as well, and we don't have to have some sort of a strike, so to speak, that would disrupt grain movement.
Now, why are farm groups and farmers watching both of these negotiations so closely this time of year?
Yeah, well, as farmers are out in the combine and trying to get this year's crop in the bin, these labor impasses with railways definitely are really, I think, a focus for farmers, or at least they're aware of them, because any sort of disruption to rail service really impacts farmers' ability to get grain from the field out to the port, whether that be the East Coast or the West Coast. So last year, rail companies somewhat struggled in terms of moving grain. A lot of it had to do with the flood in British Columbia. The crop for 22 is definitely going to be a lot bigger than last year's crop, and so we're going to need the railways working at peak capacity in order to get all this grain moved. So avoiding any kind of labor strike is a great situation.
All right, Sean, as always, thank you very much for your insight today. Host of Real Ag Radio, Sean Haney, on the phone with us. You can go online to RealAgriculture.com for more information. You can also catch his show, Real Ag Radio, which airs at 4:30 Eastern each weekday afternoon on Rural Radio 147 Sirius XM. Of course, we'll chat with him here on the Market Day Report again tomorrow.